Yes, my name is Darwin, the communications officer for PalmCorp. Today is our first episode of Palma 10 podcast, and here we would like to learn, reflect, and digest about our journey since 2014 when we were registered as an NGO. So today, just like we have said, uh, the hierarchy starts from above, so we will start from where uh, most of our policies and so on come from. So with me today is the board chair. Uh, I think he can introduce himself. I really don't have the capacity. Yes.
Thank you very much, Darwin.
Yes.
Yes, I'm Dr. Adibaku Seraphin. I am serving as the chair of the Palm Corps board. I've been in it since 2017. I am by profession a medical doctor specialized in public health, and I eventually kept building my specialization into being a public health expert, and with a huge focus on malaria. I've served in those professional positions at the district level, Ministry of Health level, and then internationally. When I retired in 2013 from the Ministry of Health, I moved to Juba as a consultant, specifically a senior technical advisor for malaria for the Ministry of Health of South Sudan, where I ended my assignment in 2015. When I returned, I concentrated on consultancies in my professional areas of public health and malaria. It was at that point that PalmCorp requested me to consider joining them as chair of their board, which I gladly accepted because I had already known the person who was leading this struggle, Dr. Thomas Abe from Moyo, where he was the NATS coordinator. And outside his office work, because I love farming, he kept helping me in many technical areas. So when he requested me to join this young organization, whose birth I knew happened when he was actually in Moyo, before I moved to Arua. So I came in, and then thereafter, more members were constituted. Thank you.
Okay, that's amazing. So, yes, since you were elected as the or appointed as the board chair, um, so how is the board constituted? What happens in there?
The board was constituted with the vision of Palm in mind, a vision that clearly states that the organization called Palm Corps envisions a world where the poorest and most vulnerable of the communities live a healthy, productive, and peaceful and dignified life. The constitution of the board was focused on realizing the vision of PAMPO, which I had just gone through, and how to ensure that these most vulnerable uh, populations within our focus areas are brought out of uh, their predicaments, require certain key areas that need to be addressed. For Uganda, I think most of the third world, where agriculture is a feasible undertaking, the majority of these vulnerable people survive through agriculture.
Okay.
So agriculture and livelihood is a big focus for Palm because through empowering people in that sector, you can lift out many of them out of desperation. Then other sectors are education, because an educated community is an empowered community.
Yeah.
Yes. Then besides those two areas, we have the legal perspectives to provide the backup for the organization, and therefore we needed to look at somebody who can give some legal guidance. Yes. And then we need the financing, because both internally and externally generated resources for Palm need to be managed through standards that are acceptable internationally. So financing eye to the board is very critical. And then, of course, my area of public health, a healthy community is a productive community. So based on those, then the search for people with those skills and expertise was launched. And eventually, we brought in an agriculture and livelihoods person on the board. And then we brought in an education and social development expert on the board. Then we have a financing person and then a legal expert. That makes the five of us. Yes.
Okay.
Our sixth member, who is the secretary, of course, is the ED, and that is an automatic assignment. He's not a voting member.
Okay. It's
Yes.
by default.
Yes.
Okay. All right. That is a lot. That is. I wonder what it takes really to build such a team. So now, based on this team, since 2014 or since 2017 that you joined, um, what are some of the key or outstanding achievements up to today?
You see, Palm started as a small dream of three people. Yes.
Okay.
And it was a consultancy initially. Then, in their experience in consulting, then it dawned on them that a non-profit would serve people better. Yes. And so it was created. And you see, it was born in 2014, but we came on board as a board in 2017,
17.
3 years later.
Okay.
So it's part of the growth trajectory. It actually kept being awakened to realities,
Okay.
to critical things if they are to succeed.
Was it the hardware or the software?
Mhm. They were, they were waking up with all this. So when they realized that a board was critical, like even funding partners will require, if we are to give you this money, where is the oversight?
Okay.
We cannot give you money and then you are the ones managing it. There is no eye up there checking
Okay.
you.
Okay.
Yes. So yes, that was how the board eventually was born and constituted fully, and then we started work. And the functions of the board are not very many. They are really very strategic roles,
Okay.
oversight,
Okay.
to ensure that the systems that are there are followed. And you watch to ensure that these are followed, because those systems, guidelines, policies, and whatever that are created to ensure that eventually we are able to deliver the vision. Yes. So therefore, based on on the role of policy making for the board, we have accomplished several policies ranging from human resource, from finance policy, procurement, we have gender, we have on corruption, anti-corruption, yes, including whistleblower protection, yes. So these have been, over the period of being in place, developed one after another, and it sets the foundation upon which this organization can function. And so far, it has been doing that quite well. Now, besides the quality, the policies, we have developed a strategic plan, 5-year strategic plan. And currently, the one we developed is being reviewed because the dynamics keeps changing. So these are documents that necessarily have to keep being updated. So therefore, for Palm, the first strategic plan is coming to its end. So the second is to be launched. That's why it is being reviewed. Yeah.
Okay.
Then from the strategic plan, which is 5 years, we have the annual plans and budgets. Now, it is the board's role to review those documents. And when the board is satisfied, we approve them. It's only after approval that they become working documents of the organization and handed to management to implement. Now, I may repeat this again and again in my discourse that Palm started as a very humble young organization, but over time it has grown. And we have some few growth statistics here. In terms of coverage, Palm's head office is in Arua, and the initial projects were implemented in Arua and in Moyo. Yes. But over the years, with capacity developed, Palm has been able to go beyond the West Nile region. We have gone to districts including Acholi, regions including the Acholi region, the Lango sub-region, and Karamoja, as far as Karamoja. Yes. And that is in terms of outreach of the organization. In terms of the direct beneficiaries, the people we serve, the ones referred to as vulnerable, the most vulnerable of communities. In 2014, actually 2017, when we came in, we had a total of 8,500 beneficiaries. Yeah. By now, we are over 150,000. As within the 10 years Palm has been in existence, that's a huge growth factor. You can, I'm sure, do some mental math.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah,
and see what percentage growth that is. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And in terms of funding, funding by 2017 of about 80,000 euros.
Okay.
80,000 euros, which comes to about 350 million. But today, we have funding of 1.8 million euros. Again, you can work that out.
That's a very long, a very long. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. In terms of Uganda ceding, that's 350 million
Yes.
to 7.3 billion.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. And partners. When we came in, we had only 4 partners. 4 partners and 3 donors. Yeah.
Okay.
Now what do we have? We have 15 partners. Yes. We have 15 partners with 10 donors. So donors from 3 to 10.
From 3 to 10.
And then partners,
from
3
3
to 15. Yes. That's 5 times growth. Yes.
Yeah.
So those are the big milestones I can say as a board we have managed to get along.
Okay.
We do our oversight through various channels. One of them is through actual field visits.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our meetings are scheduled every quarter, every 3 months. However, sometimes the management team gets so busy.
Yeah.
The search for money and
Yeah. Here and
partnerships.
there. Yeah.
So sometimes we do not meet our schedules. But we have tried our best. At least nothing, in terms of the board's perspective, has fallen offside because of that.
Okay.
So we have met as regularly as we can. And we have accompanied these meetings with the field visits. Not every meeting is with a field visit, but many of them have been with field visits.
Okay.
We have made field visits to Rhino Camp, where we have major projects. And then we have made field visits in Moya, field visits in Adjumani.
Okay.
Yes. Through these field visits, we actually interface directly with these vulnerable communities. These communities, the major focus are children under 5, especially addressed through our nutrition projects.
Yes.
Yes. And then, of course, lactating mothers through the same projects. And then women generally are vulnerable, as you know. Yes. And the youth, adolescents and the youth. Those are also a big component of our beneficiaries. Yeah, part of the oversight we provide is to ensure the integrity of the organization in terms of financial management.
Mm.
And one tool is deploying of regular audits.
Okay.
And the board is the one that identifies competent audit firms
Yeah.
from amongst the list that submit applications. And then we award a contract. And this audit happens every year,
Okay.
every financial year.
Okay.
So they prepare an audit, and then this is presented to the board for discussion.
Okay.
And eventually, when it's all agreed, then we sign it off.
Okay.
Yeah. This audit ensures that the management of the board implements programs according to the work plans and budgets that have been agreed by PALM and its funding partners.
Okay.
Yes, and it's a requirement that an organization can do without. And that's one of the key roles of the board that I think is something that's will come clearly.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So we interface directly. And there is nothing that can be more powerful than confirming
Yeah, something has worked.
as worked by those that are affected by this project.
Okay.
And we have documented them. And this, I think, talk more powerfully to the donors
Okay.
than any other report. Yes. So we have done that, and so these thousands numbers there, they have had the opportunity to interact with the board.
Okay.
Yes.
That's awesome. So based on, I had one challenge that sometimes you get the board members get caught up and the meetings sometimes are not regular. Apart from that, are there any other challenges that from the
Yes,
board perspective?
we have had quite a number of challenges. Key among them are issues relating to funding,
Okay.
where sometimes we have shortfalls in disbursements. Yes. Sometimes we have issues where the funding does not permit us to, for example, motivate our staff as well as we should, as well as other partners are doing. And we have had to engage at the highest levels of the donor partners to see how we can break some of those big challenges. I personally had meetings with a number of authorities of donors, some in Moyo, some in Arua. We have had meetings even with local governments about how they can, provide especially conducive environment for our projects to function. Yes, we have had interactions with the leaders of local governments in Arua, the local governments in Moyo, and also Germany. Yes, and wherever we go with a project, one of our end requirements is to not only just meet but sensitize and do advocacy with the district leaderships for those projects.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is it. We have occasionally had to intervene in terms of, some human resource conflicts to ensure they are resolved as well as we can in relation to the policies that we have. We have the human resource manual.
Okay.
So within that, and with the unrelenting support from our legal expert on the board, yes, we have dealt with such issues in terms of human resource as well as we possibly can.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Those are a lot, and yeah. Now, based on the funding challenge, how have you actually been handling it?
You see, a lot of negotiation goes through these processes.
Okay.
When we see a request for applications, we apply. Sometimes there's a pound corps, sometimes there's a consortium with the others, and we compete.
Okay.
So when we go through, there are usually some additionals that are requested by the donors for you to, boost your applications. And eventually, when we get through, then you sign up to a budget. Sometimes, of course, not as well as you would have liked.
Okay.
But as long as it is workable, we get in. And when you are in a contract or in a partnership, whichever, whether you are going on as an individual organization or in a consortium, the rules of the game are laid clear, and each partner is expected to play their role. Yes.
Okay.
There are times when PALM, because of its fairly incipient nature, is accommodated by bigger organizations, so that you find a big organization called a lead partner, and then PALM is a sub-partner, a subcontractee.
The implementing
Yes.
partner. Yeah.
So they get their funds through the lead partner.
Yeah.
Yes, sometimes we experience challenges also because we get lapses in funding flow, not from the donor, but at the level of the lead partner.
Okay.
Yes.
So
in some cases, we have had also again to engage as a board.
Yes.
Where management fails.
Okay.
As board to sort out those. Fortunately, they eventually end up well.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Those are. That is like I'm imagining now. I'm imagining sitting in your chair and putting all this straight, because I already have a picture of how difficult it is.
Yes, there's a lot of diplomacy in the board.
Yeah.
Yes.
I already imagine. So
otherwise you got to play it cool and
just to go back a little bit to some of the parts that we already talked about. What is one laughable thing about the formation of the board?
Well, sometimes you think somebody is really the best that you want to have on the board.
Okay.
But when you interface, the person says, that is not for me.
Mm.
Then we get for somebody else. And then they propose somebody else.
Yeah.
Is somebody whose credentials you find actually don't fit at all.
Okay.
Yes. And like when the five of us sat,
Yes.
the first meeting we were supposed to select amongst ourselves a chair and a vice chair.
Okay.
When I was selected, I said, actually, I am not the best.
You
I'm
refused.
not the best
Okay.
because of reasons A, B, C, D.
Okay.
Then everybody said, but those reasons,
Are
sir,
invalid.
cannot make you fail to deliver the deliverables of the board.
Okay.
And then they started narrating their own problems.
Okay.
So when they narrated their own, then
Yeah.
mine became miniature.
Okay.
Yes. So I accepted. And as you can see, the board's lifespan is 4 years.
Okay.
But we have outlived 4 years.
Okay.
The reason is that initially we were interim
So
because we came in when there was no law. We were the ones who set the law. Like when Uganda made its constitution, they said the government that had already lived years, those years cannot be counted.
okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So they start counting from the time the constitution was promulgated. So therefore ours started being counted from the time that policy and the board charter were launched.
Okay.
So this year, Parliament 10 also marks the end of the life of the first board.
What if the same thing happens? What if the same thing happens? You're not going anywhere and they're saying you remain there.
For us, we have not removed time limits.
Okay.
Time limits have not been removed.
Okay.
Yes. But for the good of continuity and smooth onboarding of new members, the board agreed that I should remain for, I think, 2 more years.
Okay.
Yes. Just to help the new team on board. And then after that, I also exit.
Okay.
I don't remember very well whether it's me only or 2 of us.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
But that's not the removal of term limits.
I should say congratulations, actually.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now that we are making 10 years in June, say something to the public about it.
I think what I'll say really is 10 years now graduates from being a baby to an adult.
Okay.
So we should no longer think like babies. Babies, of course, you need to provide continuous support. It's not as part of nurturing until they're able to get on their own. Palm now should be able to stand on its own, should be able on its own right, develop proposals, and have direct engagement with donors.
Okay.
Having gone from 350 million to 7.3 billion, I think that's a huge portfolio.
Yeah.
Having moved beyond the borders of West Nile is not a baby statement. Yes. So the message is that yes, congratulations to PALM for achieving 10 years, and congratulations for coming to the world of adults, and now you're very mature, and For me, I should congratulate the team that I've had and worked with on the board.
Okay.
It's really been a focused team, a team that was ready to sacrifice because really Palm was castrapped. It was just a baby. So we supported like our own baby. And we have brought it to this level. The incoming board, I'm sure, will be landing on softer ground.
Okay.
And they should, my prayer is they should pick on from where we left
Okay.
and grow this adult
Okay.
into bigger perspectives.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about the future. What is the future like?
In one of our most recent meetings, we thought Palms would explore areas that it had not delved in much. And this is driven by real situations happening
Okay.
within the communities that we really are focused to serve. And that's the situation of breakdown in the social structure, right from the family level to
Okay.
communities,
Okay.
where you find the community networks, even the domestic network, the family networks are collapsing under one major underlying factor, and that's excessive consumption
Okay.
of alcohol, other abuses, substance abuses, uh, where you find heads of families, the parents, are into it. They procreate in that environment. Babies, children are raised in that environment. And so children grow up into the various stages of development. When you get the youth populations today, many of them are just there with full of energy but doing nothing productive.
Okay.
The sites of youths assembling and consuming marungi or other substances, alcohol, is not uncommon. It's actually the norm.
Okay.
So we think as PAN, we should be able to invest our efforts into trying to redress this situation. Yeah. There's a lot of mental health issues, but again, if you go into root cause analysis, you find what I've just said about substance abuse being major.
Mm.
Yes. So beyond Palmet 10, going forward, I think that's an area we're going to be exploring. Yeah.
Okay.
And the growth trajectory, which I've already highlighted by the few statistics, if you extrapolate those graphs, I think regionally we should be expanding over most of Uganda in the next 20 years, in the next 10 years to make. Yes, so Palmet 20, I envision, given the growth trajectory that we have been looking at, that Palm should be able to increase massively the coverage of the vulnerable populations. The demands are limitless, both inside West Nile, the greater coverage in Uganda, and Palms will be able to go beyond the borders of this country.
Okay.
We have a very telling experience of South Sudan. Now, added to that is Sudan itself.
Yeah.
So the vulnerabilities within Uganda and especially those neighboring countries is so huge, and they're all crying for help.
Yeah.
So to me, that is an area that the the next board should focus on. Yes,
Okay.
apart from including emerging situations that require intervention, like the issue of mental health and substance abuse, our growth should transcend the initial boundaries we defined for PALM.
Okay.
Yes, should be able to be redesignated as an international organization
Okay.
at the time.
Okay.
Yes.
So to officially flag off the celebration, uh, any words to partners, donors?
Palme 10 is a long-term program of celebration. There will be various key events that management has drawn out, and this is just the beginning. These interviews, which I'm flagging off today, will continue with all kinds of stakeholders within the management and with our partners as well, so that we document the journey that we work together for these 10 years. And then it prepares ourselves. It sharpens our appetite for the next 10 years.
Okay.
And so where there has been partnership, there should be stronger partnership. Where there has been none, it should be initiated.
Okay.
So this should be, these interviews will eventually constitute a call on those that are not non-farm, that this is a partner that is worth engaging.
Okay.
And it's a partner that is worth putting your trust in.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. So thank you so much, Dr. Adibaku, who is the board chair, the current board chair, for coming, and we appreciate your time. We really love the work that you're doing at the implementation stage. We appreciate on behalf of the rest of the staff.
Thank you.
Yes, and then on behalf of PAUNCO as well, most of the stakeholders, partners, and then the project participants as well, we will be reaching out to you in the due course of the year through different activities, through different modes. So please accept us as we celebrate together this great mileage. So wait for the next guest. I cannot tell you, but please follow our social media platforms. Just type PalmCo and you'll be able to see this amazing logo. Otherwise, my name has been Darwin, the communications officer. Thank you so much.
Thank you.